Tarail from Keep It 100 podcast. This will be the second podcast of three today. I actually have another artist coming on based out of Texas. We rock with all the artists out there. Again, if you guys don't know what our podcast is about, like you can check out our page on Instagram. Our whole goal is to uplift and support and to help you guys get your story out. So that's basically what it's about. Our Facebook is Keep It 100 Podcast Show. There's a mission statement there that says we're trying to uplift one interview at a time. I have some individuals that have some questions about what our podcast is about, what we're promoting. We're basically promoting uplifting and helping you reach your dreams if we can do that on our platform. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. But yeah, I think I see our guests in the comment section right now. So add him in, allow him to share his story about his music career, life, and we're just gonna hop into it real quick. For sure. It says he's connecting now.
Yo, what's good? What's happening, man?
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on, bro.
For sure.
Excuse me, I couldn't have an artsy background. I ended up in the kitchen, but you know.
No worries. I used to do some of the podcasts in the kitchen as well before I got this backdrop.
Yeah. Okay.
But
What's up? Appreciate it.
I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, no doubt.
I enjoyed the interview yesterday with Nomad.
That's my guy, man. Shout out Nomad, bro. That's my brother. That's cool cat, man. Yeah.
I had to let him know I was extremely sad yesterday after I saw what he posted after our interview.
Oh, with the bars.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'm so upset right now.
Man.
But,
it was dope though.
It was. Yeah, he promised me a part 2, so I'm like, all right. And I want you, BZ, and everyone together for the next interview. So
hey, that's what's hey, shout out BZ, Quasi, Kels,
I think we
man.
froze for a sec when we were trying to come back. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, my bad, man.
You froze for a second, so I was letting them know that you froze for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My bad.
But what we usually do is have the guests introduce themselves, because I don't like to introduce individuals wrong, so I allow you guys to do that. Okay. So if you can introduce yourself, speak a little bit about yourself as well.
All right. I'm D. Rashawn, D.RASHAAN. I'm from Texas. I definitely rep the South, pushing the indigo movement, man. We want y'all to be able to, as crazy as it sounds, we want you guys to hear color, you know what I mean? So that's we trying to push a vibe and a narrative behind that, man. So that's me. It's me in a nutshell, man.
Sounds good. I had a chance last night to listen to some of your music, actually.
Okay, appreciate that.
And I have a question.
What's up?
I'm looking at it right now. Good Vibes. Is that your latest project?
Yes. Good Vibes, Cool Hues. Dropped that in January. January. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the inspiration behind that title?
Man, it was kind of the continuation of I basically picked up where I left off with something. I ended up taking about a 1.5-year break away from music due to some personal issues, and it was an idea I initially started, and I'm the type of person, I don't like unfinished ideas. You know what I mean? I like to flesh it out completely. And so when I was back up and moving, I felt like a new version of myself. And so I restarted the project and basically just renamed it. It's Good Vibes, Cool Hues. I associate sound and color. And so the whole point of that album was to figure out a way to help my listeners see the association. And so I felt it was due to myself. It was kind of a self-serving album, but I definitely wanted to finish that and get it out ASAP, you know. And so I got back. I started back on it. I want to say July last year, and we finished it up and dropped it in January. So yeah.
And did you get like good reaction from like the album?
Man, I crazy enough, man, it's honestly probably the most successful out of all of my projects, which I didn't expect. I honestly anticipated that it would be kind of written off as kind of an odd project, you know. And
Uh,
but surprisingly, man, I got some love, man, and thanks to everyone that supported that and are listening and everything. Like I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, man. I mean that. So
for sure.
yeah.
If someone wants to find more about your music, do you mind sharing like where they can find it
Yeah,
at?
I'm everywhere, all over social media. D Rashawn, again, D.RASHAAN. Music is everywhere. You can get on Spotify, you can get on iTunes, Apple Music, all that stuff, and search it. It's all the same across the board.
For sure. Sounds good. I'll share that information after the video as
All right,
well.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I plan to like stream it to like YouTube and Facebook once we're done here actually.
All right, cool, cool, cool.
So, 'cause I like the first track on that album. I can't remember the name, but me and my uncle, which is the other co-host, were vibing to it yesterday. And I was listening to it. He's like, "Yo, who is that?" I was like, some new artist that I started listening to."
Oh
And
man, that's dope.
yeah, he's like, "Get him immediately." I was like, "Bro, calm down." Like, I just started
Hey,
listening
I
to the song.
appreciate that. Yeah,
And
what was you talking about Wise Mantis? I think that's
yeah,
the intro. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
Appreciate that.
he's like, "It was pretty dope." And I was like, "Yeah, he knows Nomad and all those other
Yeah,
Texas artists that we're connecting with. He knows BZ too. Apparently, I
yeah,
guess you guys
yeah,
follow each other."
yeah,
And yeah, he's like, "Yeah, that's dope." And I was like, "Yo, I didn't get him on podcast. He's sounds like a pretty dope artist."
yeah, man. And again, man, shout out BZ and Nomad, man. Those guys, I don't think they understand how dope they are, man. You know that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in my eyes, I think I actually told Nomad, man, like you like a superhero and you don't understand the power that you have, man. Like you hella dope. So shout out to them again. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he got an album coming.
Yeah, yeah, I need that tomorrow.
Yeah, I told
Yeah,
him that, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like I'm gonna write this date in my calendar." Because at first he was like, "Oh, June 7th." I was like, "Wait a minute. What do you mean June 7th?"
yeah,
I was like, if it's out already, I'm upset that I don't have it yet.
right,
He's
right,
like,
right,
he's like,
right on.
he's like, yeah, no, July, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
okay, for
yeah.
sure,
He told me that he said July 7th. I said if it don't drop July 7th, I'm at your neck, bro. I'm coming
yeah,
at you, man. So yeah, that's what's up, man.
yeah, I'm gonna be hot. I was gonna be hot if it was out June 7th. I was like, bro, don't do that to me, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, man. Don't do that to the people, man.
yeah, I was telling him, I was like, before I, well, before me and my uncle started this podcast, like,
Right,
I wasn't really rocking with rap like that as much.
right, right, right,
Then I connected with BZ or whatever, and then I connected with that whole group over there, and I started listening to like rap again, like
right.
seriously. And I was
Yeah,
like, they are the reason I listen to rap again. Like you guys are the reason that I started like
right, right.
vibing out to it again. So
What turned you off of rap, man? Like what made you stray away from it?
um to me, like the way I'm not, don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but
Right.
like just like the lyrics now and what they're rapping about, like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
really something I was like really vibing to. I was just
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
nah, like because one of my favorite artists of all time is DOC. He's from Dallas. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then I wasn't hearing that, and I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna listen to old school rap until I find something that
Right.
I actually like to vibe out to. And
Okay.
I found you, or I think you liked the a post or something,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Yo, who is this artist?" Then I started listening to everything before you told me what it was, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm already listening to it. I'm good."
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's love,
But
man. Appreciate that.
yeah, because you guys are slept on out there. Like some
Yeah.
people may not know this, but there's a lot of dope artists coming out of Texas.
Yeah.
They just need a
Straight
chance
up.
to get on a platform. So
I think
that,
I think it's the narrative, man. I think they write us off as either ignorant Southerners, or they think that a lot of the music is pretty much kind of aligned with the stuff you hear on the radio, you know,
uh,
and that's really not the case, man. There is substance out here, you know.
yeah,
And ironically, a lot of those guys that are on the radio, they have tracks that have a lot of substance. You know, they choose to do what gets them, you know, kind of a mainstream platform,
yeah, for sure.
just to just stay
Oh,
true to what
you
you
froze
represent.
for a second. Let me wait.
Oh,
Yeah, we good.
okay, okay.
But yeah, I rock with it, and I'm gonna keep listening to it because I've connected with you guys now, and like all you guys have like new albums out. I still consider yours new. That's January. That's still a new album.
Yeah, still relatively new. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I thank you personally for
So,
dropping that album.
you froze up on me. Yeah, but okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you for dropping that album. I like it.
appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. I'm working on. I'm actually about done with another one.
Uh huh.
I'm looking at maybe in August, sometime toward the end of summer, beginning of fall, kind of like a
Yeah.
transition in seasons. I kind of fell back with promoting the album I dropped in January, just because of everything that occurred, like between COVID and, you know, of course, like the Black Lives Matter movement and the stuff with George Floyd, rest in peace, and all that. I kind of fell back because I didn't want to be perceived, not to question anyone's intent or the authenticity of anyone out there, but I didn't want to seem as like I was an opportunist, you know.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I didn't want to take advantage of that, so I just kind of fell back from social media in general, you know. But
Okay.
but yeah.
But now you're back.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I never stopped working. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still in the studio, still writing. I write daily. You know, I record as often as I can get in there, man. Like if those doors are unlocked, I'm trying to get in the building. You know, and I'm really pushing to drop this album sometime here in the next month or so. So
Okay.
we're gonna get it.
Um,
Yeah.
will you be on Beezy's album?
I hope so. BZ, if you watching, bro, let me know what's up. You know,
I don't know.
we've been sending tracks back and forth. So hopefully, man, we can get something concrete and make something work.
Yeah. Beezy knows I'm on his head. Everyone I interview that's
Yeah,
from Texas, I'm like, hey, put him on.
BZ, let me on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got some heat coming too. So
yeah, he's dope, man.
because I believe he will actually be releasing his album on our podcast.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
um yeah, we gotta work something out. I let Nomad know, like, hey, you need to be on this. I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah,
I'll work hard to make sure it happens. But I'm trying to learn more about you right now, your podcast.
let's get it.
So, are you born and raised in Texas?
I am born and raised in Texas, man. I'm from here. I'm a product of this state. Yeah, to the fullest.
All
Yeah.
right, and uh, is there like I know I've never been to Texas, so is there like a certain city or side of town you're from?
Yeah, I'm in Lubbock, Texas. So we are kind of in the Panhandle, kind of the northwestern region of Texas, closer to like Amarillo and kind of in that area. Yeah, if you're familiar with any of the cities out here, kind of like the northern part, northwestern. Yeah,
All right. I'm
yeah.
starting to, because all you guys I'm connecting with are like from different parts. So,
Yeah. And it's crazy because Texas is big, man. It's a big state, you know. But yeah, it's that's my area. I'm born in Lubbock. Yeah, yeah.
for sure. And far as like how it was growing up in that area, like how was it as far as like growing up and everything?
Man, I mean, to be frank, man, you know, we came from the struggle. You know, it's it's just it's kind of a grassrooted, you know, situation. Like it humbles you. I'll say that. You know, our upbringing definitely humbled us and molded us into be adults. You know,
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
but I appreciate everything that you know we endured because it definitely, like I said, it molded us. It's
Uh,
truly humbling. So yeah,
for sure. Sounds good. And far as when you met uh Nomad, BZ, not sure who else from that side that you know. Like, when did you meet those guys?
man, I met Nomad, Easy, Quasi, Kels, Creep. I met all those guys. Man, it's been easily over 10 years ago. And we were all kiddos, and at that point in time, we were still trying to figure out kind of what our sound was going to be, what direction we were going to go with our music and everything. So it was really like you know kind of the lower levels of our artistry when we all met, and we basically watched each other evolve and you know become what we all became. But yeah, it's definitely. I want to say it's I met Nomad, man. It was I actually heard his music before I met him.
Uh-huh.
We were at a DJ's music shop and they played some of his music and I was like, man, who is this cat? You know,
Well, that's
you
good.
know, and they were like, yeah, you know, and I'm asking questions. They're like, hey, he's from here. I'm like, word, you know, and I ended up meeting him maybe a few months after that, I think, and that was easily, like I said, over 10 years ago, man. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Um, I have the ultimate compliment from BZ from you for you.
Oh
I'm
wow.
gonna actually read it.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna read this right now off my computer.
Okay.
So me and BZ like talk a lot
Okay. Okay.
regularly now. And basically he replied to the story I tagged you in on our Instagram.
Right. Right. Right.
He is so dope, one of my favorite lyricists.
Oh man.
And he's like he co-signed you basically big time. So
Man. Man.
compliment from Mr. BZ.
Love, Beezy. Appreciate that, man. That's love, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably because I was gonna bring it up sometime, but I'm like I was gonna bring it up right now. So, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
dope.
back to the podcast though. Far as you meeting all those guys and stuff like that, when did you actually start like your music journey?
Man, I started music. I guess the beginning would be I was a teenager, and
Mm-hmm.
I wrote poetry. And it says corny as it sounds, man. I'm also a cartoonist, and
Oh,
so
dope.
I used to me and a group of friends of mine actually would we'd create our cartoons, and from there we'd write narratives. Like we'd write like a little story to be associated with it. It was kind of like a knockoff X-Men,
For
you know.
sure.
And we wrote like little storylines, and that's kind of when I kind of got privy to you know the notion of being you know good with words. And from there I kind of segued into poetry. And so around that time I might have been about 14 or 15, and I ended up meeting an older friend who passed away a few years back, rest in peace. But I ended up
Peace.
meeting an older friend, and he basically told me, he's like, man, I might have been about 15 or 16 when I met him. He was like 25, 26. And he told me, he's like, man, he's like, you know, you definitely need to do something with that. And so we started recording on I would beatbox because I couldn't at that point. I'm a little older, so at that point it was a little harder to get all of the instrumentals and stuff.
Yeah.
So we started beatboxing on would double record the lyrics. So it was hella tedious and it was probably unnecessary, but
Uh-huh.
that was really the beginning of that. And then I met my brother. I met my best friend Dre. Andre Maurice. Go check out his music, man. He is another hella talented
Shoot
artist.
me, shoot me his profile after we're
I
done.
will shoot it to you. But I met him and he told me, he's like, man, let's get you in the studio. And so we got in, and this was probably about '07, '08, and that's when we just went from there, man. And the rest is history. And that was kind of the beginning. Is kind of segueing from poetry into into rap. honestly segueing from cartooning into poetry into rap. You know, it was kind of a phase for me because prior to that, like I didn't think anything of it. You know, I didn't think that I was really much of a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
sounds good.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what about you writing your first song? Like,
My
what was that
first song,
process? Your first
man,
song ever and rap.
man, you make me go down memory lane. All right, my the first song I wrote, man, I barely remember it, but I remember the process. I don't remember the lyrics, but I remember
Uh,
writing it. I remember it took me about 2 or 3 days, and it was I don't even think they were full 16s, man. Like I think I literally wrote like 3 8-bar verses and like a 4-bar hook. Like it was super short, and it was basically a knockoff version of everything I had heard in Texas. At that time, I was a really big Chameleonaire fan, and so
Shout out to Chameleon.
Chameleonaire, Fabulous, and Ti. And
Yeah.
so I really love their cadences and their flows and how their transitions in between their their wording and stuff like that. And so I mimicked that, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, and that's kind of how my first song came about.
For
Um,
sure.
the first actual song, like being in a studio, was a song. It was a slow joint called "I Can't Help It,"
Hmm.
and it was actually a beat that my boy Andre Maurice did, and I ended up doing that song, and I went crazy over it because it was my first time actually being in the studio, hearing like a finished product, you know, with like quality and all that good stuff, and it was dope, man. It was a dope experience. But I definitely tried to stray away from that style of music because I felt
Uh-huh.
like it was a tad soft, you know. But yeah, that was pretty much the beginning of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And as far as songwriting,
Right.
do you think that's something that's can be learned, or does it have to be something that like you're born with, like a talent?
I think I think to be a writer, just a natural writer, I do think that is something that you're born with.
Hmm.
Just to have the ability to know, just to understand words and how to manipulate them to invoke feeling from people. I think that's kind of that's a God given talent. Um, I think writing music can be learned. It can be taught and learned.
Hmm.
But I definitely think actually like just knowing, just having a gift for that. That's just something that just comes naturally.
For sure. Sounds good. I always had that. I always wondered, but I never brought it up in a podcast before.
Right, right. Nah, I won't lie. I've met some guys that are gifted songwriters, and I'm like, man, like, and they have no knowledge. They no knowledge beyond what they do with music.
Hmm.
And it's kind of that. I feel like it's kind of that phenomena that happens sometimes because, man, I can think of some guys that can write. They write their asses off, and they know how to put a song together like a cohesive song. And I'm like, wow, like you did that, you know. So
For sure. Um, what about um, inspirations to get into music? Do you have like anyone that like inspire you? It could be an
man,
artist, producer,
uh,
friend.
Outcast.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out to Outkast.
hands down, man. Like I have every Outcast album. A lot of people focus on Andre 3000, man, but Big Boy is equally as dope. You know, Three Stacks was just the eccentric one, but Big Boy was. I mean, if you listen to Big Boy is he's snapping. You know what I mean? And growing up for me, that was definitely intriguing to hear Southern artists. You know,
Yeah.
as Andre 3000 said, the South got something to say. So to hear them, you know, actually talking about something other than, you know, riding slabs and, you know, rims and girls and stuff like that, they were actually talking about, you know, real life things that occur in real life. And I definitely, as a child, I appreciated that. Like as a youth, I appreciated that. And it definitely big time inspired me. You know, like anything those guys do to me is gospel. Those are hands down. Those are my favorite artists, man. Of course, Jay-Z is a favorite of mine. Eminem, M, and his lyrical prowess is crazy.
It is.
Um, you know, and Royce the 5'9", of course, like I mentioned, Fabulous, Ti. Those guys, I always enjoyed the lyricists. You know, I feel like
Uh,
the point of rapping is to showcase talent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so you got to be able to spit, you know. And so I thought that was hella dope.
So is that like a top five for you?
Top five, man. My top five is gonna. I count Outkast as one. They
Okay.
count as one. Okay, so Outkast, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne. Let's see who else. Who else? Eminem, and oh man, the fifth one. I would just go ahead and give it to Ti, man. I'll give it to Tip because
Sure.
I listened to a lot of Tip when I was younger, man, and I thought he was, man, he was dope. He was dope. Yeah,
Yeah, I still listen to some of his stuff. Like he's one of my favorites as well.
yeah, yeah,
And every list on this show, on this interviews, are like interesting and
yeah.
different.
I bet
But
you hear a lot of like Jay-Z, Big and Pac, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I feel like that's almost unfair, you know what I mean? Like that's a given, you know.
for
But
sure. Nomad is now watching
what
the
up, boy?
podcast.
Yeah,
Shout out to him for coming on yesterday.
yeah, yeah.
I
Shout out,
rock
shout
with him. All right, so I like your top five. That was amazing.
out. Appreciate it.
Is there anyone like do artists compare themselves to other artists like once they're like trying to get their style and everything?
Man, you mean like kind of mainstream artists, like just kind of the stuff that we,
Yeah, like
yeah,
do artists mimic like their style after someone like a mentor or something like that?
yes, yes, man, and I think that's good and bad. I definitely like out of the new artists that we hear today, like you've got your J. Cole's, Kendrick. To me, the top three out of the new artists are J. Cole, Kendrick, and Big Crit, hands down. Like
Uh,
those guys are that's top three. And I listen to a lot of those guys, but I try to stay away from listening to really anyone whenever I'm in the process of writing and stuff like that, because I think sometimes we inadvertently adopt styles
uh-huh.
as artists, you know what I mean? And so I wouldn't want to mimic anything, but I think it's if you're listening to a lot of, especially like eccentric artists like that, like a Kendrick Lamar, if you're listening to that type of stuff, like just days on end, and it's starting to resonate with you, at some point as an artist, you're going to take in some of that. You're going to, you know, you're going to mimic that, whether it's on purpose or, you know, again, like I said, inadvertently, you definitely will mimic the styles you hear. So as an artist, I try to stay away from listening to other artists whenever I'm in my writing process.
Sure.
Just because I don't want to be falsely compared, or you know they
Hmm.
think that I'm trying to copy someone or something like that.
Okay. Uh, so what do you think your style is? If you were to say what your style is as an artist,
Man, I've heard comparisons. Man, it's crazy. Someone told me I sound like Common, and
for real?
I mean, I took it as a compliment because Common is definitely dope, man. He goes
Yeah.
in that top. You know, he's one of the top MCs. Recently, after I dropped Good Vibes, someone told me that I put him in the mind of Wale. I guess with the
Okay.
flow and the I guess the quicker rap, the double time flows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And Personally, man, I honestly wouldn't know who to say I'd sound like. I would definitely say that my music stylistically would be in the lane of like a J. Cole or Kendrick. You know, I'm definitely kind of away from that mainstream sound. You know, I don't really want to be labeled a mainstream or a commercial artist. You know, because I think in my opinion it's watered down, and
For sure.
you know I want to give it to you straight, no chase. You know?
Keep it 100.
So, but yeah.
For sure. Sounds good on that end as well. Let me ask you another question about like the studio process.
Okay.
Cause I watch like I'm a hip hop head. So
Right.
I was recently watching DLC talk about him being in the studio. I know you remember this when he was a part of NWA, and they were recording the Straight Outta Compton album.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what he's basically saying is, when you're in the writing process, say if like two artists are writing verses for like the same song,
Hmm.
he was saying they would go what would sound best, and
Right.
he was going against Ice Cube, of course, and he's like, yo, there was times like he had to go back to the drawing board, and I had to go back to the drawing board.
Ah, yeah.
Have you ever been in like a situation like that?
Hell yes. Man, man, I've had situations where like we'll work on something outside of the studio and we'll have it flushed out and we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this, you got first verse, you do hook, whatever. And then you get there and you're in the process of, recording the song and then you hear the other guy's verse, man. I can think of examples with my brother Andre, man. He laid verses, he's notorious for that. And he's also a notorious rewriter. Like if he feels like he might have some competition on the track on the way to the studio, this dude is rewriting or whatever. And I've definitely been in situations where I've heard that and I'll be like, man, I gotta rewrite. Like I refuse to get shit on. You know what I mean? Like as an MC, you don't want that to happen. But I've definitely been in situations like that. Man, Nomad, man, I got a track with him, man. I was like,
Wait, wait,
wow,
wait. Hold on. I'm gonna take a 20-second timeout for a second. So you two have a song together.
we got a few together. I don't know if I
What
should have said that yet, but yeah, we got a few songs together, man. And
or is this new or old?
this is new stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna get sad all over again.
Yeah,
So
man. Be on the lookout, man. It's coming soon. But he definitely recently, man, he came with some heat and I was like, man, like I don't know if that's gonna work, man. I might have to rewrite, bro.
go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, back to the drawing board, man. You just snapped, you just spazzed out. But yeah, I've definitely been in that situation.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like once that happens, like what's the reaction of the other artist?
Man,
You
that
have to go back
reaction,
to the drawing board.
it's like imagine your ego just getting kicked in the nuts suddenly. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's definitely happened there.
For sure. Okay. Remember earlier I told you what Beezy said about you being like one of the dopest lyricists.
Right. I appreciate that. It might be.
Um, do you consider yourself like a freestyle artist, like hip hop artist, rap
Um,
artist?
Man, I've definitely freestyled in the past. I wouldn't consider myself a freestyler,
Uh-huh.
but I've definitely we've all dabbled in freestyles before. Yeah.
Okay, so you had battles with that camp over there.
Um, I've had battles with we've gone back and forth. I know me and Dre used to actually battle over beats and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've been down that road before.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure because I've heard a lot of the music from them over there. Like I think the first song I heard by Kels was Frank Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
I think we froze for a second. Oh,
Uh-oh.
back. Um, the first song I heard by Kels was Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
BZ
Yeah.
played it for me, and I was just like, "Yo, like, this is dope, bro."
Yeah. Kels goes crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. By the
Yeah.
way, she's come back with part two. She told me she was gonna write something
Oh,
and
okay.
drop some heat for me. So I'm excited for that. Quasi, BZ, like he's been on like 7 times already, so he
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up whenever he wants to.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh,
Quasi, man, shout out to Quasi. This next project that I'm dropping is completely produced by Quasi. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
those got there's extra heat.
we got some stuff, man. Yeah. Yeah.
All of you have stuff coming, so like every time I interview somebody and I hear something else, and I'm just like, yo, like I don't know if I have enough time in a day to hear this, but I'm gonna try to make it work
Yeah.
because I rock with all of you guys. So
Yeah.
shout
Appreciate
out
that.
to you, shout out to you guys. Far as labels, like, are you an independent artist or are you signed to someone?
I'm an independent artist as of right now. I'm not signed to anyone. Just kind of doing my own thing as of right now. Yeah.
All right. I talked to BZ about this in his first interview.
Mhm.
Is there a preference versus being an independent artist and being signed to like a record label?
Man, I'm still learning the business aspects of music.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a choice, I would definitely say it's probably more beneficial to an artist in the long run if they remain independent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think definitely you want a big machine like Def Jam or something like that behind you, backing you
For sure.
with distribution and promotion and stuff like that. But at the same time, history has shown us that bigger machines kind of water down the product. And on top of that, they dig deep in your pockets, man. And before you
For
know it,
sure.
you become a whole different person than what you were when you initially started. And I've always wanted to stay true to who I was. I don't want anything to compromise my artistry. And
Yeah.
so if I were to ever be in a situation where I had the opportunity to link up with a big machine like that, like I would definitely let it be known that I have my list of demands.
Uh-huh.
Like you're not going to compromise anything that I do. But to answer your question, yeah, man, I think it's more beneficial in the long run if you remain independent.
Yeah, because being an independent artist, like 100% of your music is yours.
It's yours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to be frank, man, I'd be damned if I spend my hard earned like time, effort, and intellectual property. I literally created this and you are owed a portion of it, or you own it and I get a portion of it, like that's not how that works. It's not how that should be, you know.
All right. Sounds good. Let me ask you something else. I
Okay.
also spoke with BZ about this. Contracts for artists.
Hmm.
Do I personally believe that some of the artists do
Hmm.
not read the fine print
Right.
until they are trying to get out of the
Right.
fine print. Like if they're trying to leave or something, then they're like, okay, let me just go read it real quick.
Yeah.
But they may find something in there that's like really important, and it was important for them to read it before they signed it. But now
Right.
they're
Right.
just like stuck.
Yeah. Man, man, if are you asking like if I would sign a contract
No,
or
I'm asking like, what's your opinion on
my
that?
opinion? Man, I feel like if you're put in a situation where you're gonna sign something, man, have someone there that has more knowledge than you in the situation, someone that's more versed in that. Because again, like writers exist in more ways than music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can construct a contract that can bind you and you not even realize you're bound, like you said, until you're trying to get out of that. And if you're one of those people that are, they put something big and shiny in your face and you're distracted, um, and you definitely need someone there that can see past the distraction and kind of talk some logic into you. Because man, you'll mess around and sign your life away and you'll be stuck, man. I think some of our favorite artists are probably in that bind as we speak.
There's a famous group that did that back in the 80s. I hate to go back to this, but I am. So, um,
Yeah.
that was the whole NWA thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I I listen to a lot of stuff, and basically what Ice Cube was saying, he's like, he told him to sign the contract without having a lawyer present.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the lawyers only meant these guys are paid to create problems. So just sign the contract.
Yeah, and I feel like that should have been, man, that should have been a red flag. Like if me and my boys are sitting down and we're about to sign some paperwork and the label dude is like, you don't need a lawyer, then that's that's the definition of you need a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like why are we like why can't we have a lawyer here? So,
Yeah.
but again, I feel like there's that they were presented something that they felt that they needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a temporary fix. And again, that goes back to what I said. Like if you're distracted by big shiny things, you lost. You know what I mean? Because it loses its value after a while.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that can go for like all business though. Like
Hmm.
like contracts, and you attracted to shiny things.
Hmm.
Especially like, say for example, if you're starting a startup and you have maybe like an investor or something like that, they cut you
Right.
like a big check, and they're like, oh, you don't need lawyers here. Just sign this and the money's yours. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
most of the 50% of the people are gonna do it unless like they have like lawyers and stuff like that.
Right, right.
If you're allowed to take the contract with you and
Yeah.
show it to a lawyer, most won't
And,
allow you to do that.
and see, and that's the thing, man. Like I feel like, and I think anytime you're involved in business like that, it goes to myself as well. You should have friends and or not necessarily friends, but just more experienced eyes around you. People that
Mhm.
definitely can see that stuff from a mile away. You know, you want people that have your best interests. And I think that goes into kind of something else, you know, when they talk about not having yes men and stuff like that surrounding you. You have people that can actually tell you like, no, that's bad for you. You shouldn't do that. I think we should honestly adopt the same mentality when it comes to contracts and things like that, you know, because you just don't want to be bound to something that isn't good for you, man. You know,
For sure. So safe to say you don't want yes men around.
hell no. I'm good on that. I don't need that, man. If anything I'm doing is trash before it becomes public, tell me behind the scenes. Let me know. You know what I mean? I respect criticism. You know, there's no feelings in feedback.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so I feel like any kind of feedback that anyone is giving you that is constructive, you should definitely take heed to it. Um, if you have a bunch of people around you that are just saying, yeah, just because, you know, they feel like, you know, you need it or that there's something they can get from it, you should definitely reevaluate your circle. And I get how sometimes it is kind of hard to see through that. It's hard to recognize that not everyone, you know, is gonna keep it 100 with you. I definitely, we've all been down that path before. But
yeah,
yeah, but you know, to be real with you, man, as I've gotten a little older, I've realized that your circle is a reflection of your character. You
for
know,
sure,
so if you got a bunch of yes men around you, you know, there might be something about you that attracted those type of people in the first place. You know,
for sure. Sounds good. Agree with that as well, which is why my circle was small. Uh,
same, same.
Cause I'm like if I put out trash, like let me know. Like
Yeah,
don't allow me to keep putting out garbage, bro.
that part. Yeah,
Yeah, don't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, especially from a business standpoint, because the goal is, you know, if we're all shooting for a common goal and I'm putting out trash, man, like there's no success in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's not helping any of us. So tell me that it's not working and we can move on, go back to the drawing board.
for sure. Okay, sounds good. Appreciate the knowledge on that as
Yeah.
well. From artist to, I guess, a new podcaster. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Um, Let me ask you a question about when you put out new songs. Is there someone you send it to and they give you feedback, tell you whether it's bad, good? Do you need to
Yeah.
change this or that?
I definitely, man, I have someone that I have read over my verses. I'll send a verse to someone or record myself spitting a verse or tell them the idea to a song and shoot it to them before the song is even done. You
Uh-huh.
know, and just to make sure that it's worthy of even being released. You know what I mean? Sometimes if I experiment and say I do a type of song that's targeted for a certain audience, I'll try and find someone from that demographic and just kind of, you know, kind of sample it and see what they think. And I use that kind of that feedback to kind of help me constructively with songs. So
For sure. I always wondered that process, even though I bring that up in every interview with that I have.
yeah,
Because I don't know if every answer will be different. So
right, right.
I just want to know like how that
Now,
process is.
sometimes there are those self-serving moments where you're like, you know what, I like this. This is dope to me. I'm putting it out. You know,
Mm,
and you just take that leap of faith. But I feel like, you know, as an artist, you're insecure about your craft. You know, you're touchy about it. You're sensitive. So you definitely want to get feedback from people who have opinions that you care about. You know, people that have something they have an opinion that you have value in, and you can kind of use that constructively. So yeah, I think that also falls into having a healthy circle around you too. Make sure that you have people around you that can tell you like, no, that's not it. You know.
for sure. Appreciate that answer as well. Um, what about personal hobbies outside of music, outside of work? Like, what do you like to do?
Um, Personal hobbies, man. I'm an artist, so and I'm also a graphic designer. So I spend a lot of time drawing, sketch. Oh, sorry about that.
You froze for a second. Wait, okay. We good.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
good.
I spend a lot of time. Okay. Spend a lot of time drawing, designing stuff like that. Those are personal hobbies of mine.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, because I learned that Nomad is a artist. He draws yesterday.
Yeah, you know what, man? I learned that too yesterday, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that when he said he was doing like the architectural sketches. He draws buildings and things. I didn't know that. I saw that yesterday, and I was like, huh. So
I
yeah,
wasn't expecting that. Like when he
I
said
was.
that, like what?
Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but yeah, when I saw it, I was like, damn, that's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah, learn something new every day from every interview. Every interview is different.
right.
Every individual is different. So
Yeah,
shout out to all you guys that have came on. We appreciate you for coming on.
shout out
As
everybody.
this, yeah, as this is our 2 month anniversary actually today. So
Nice.
yeah, so I wanted to bring amazing people on every day like we normally do.
Right,
So
right.
I
That's what's up. What's up?
I appreciate that. Um, far as where you're trying to go with your music career, like
Mhm.
what's your ultimate goal?
Man, the ultimate goal is to really just convey emotion and honesty. You
Hmm.
know, as an artist, of course, like as an MC, of course, I don't want anyone to ever, whether you like the music or not, I don't want anyone to ever hear it and be like, oh, he can't spit. So I definitely, that keeps me on my toes lyrically.
Yeah,
But just music wise, man, I just want people just to appreciate the aesthetic, just have an appreciation for something that has emotion, substance, and honesty in it. And that's if I can convey that, that's definitely that's pleasing. It's never been about money and things like that. Like I've always felt like the success and the money and all that stuff that comes if it's due to you. Again, I'm big on energy, and if you put that type of energy into the world, you'll get something back. You just have to be patient and let it come to you, man.
for sure.
Someone told me that music is like pollen seeds, man. It's like you throw it up and it's gonna land somewhere. It'll find an audience and it'll ferment and it'll grow and become something, and that's stuck with me.
Yeah, sure.
I feel
Sounds
like money compromises character, man. So the success aspect of it, I'm good on that. I try not to get too enveloped in that. If it comes, then definitely I'm gonna try to stay as close to the ground, as humble as I can stay, man, because I would never want that to compromise like first and foremost my character, and then of course my music. So yeah.
okay. For sure. Sounds good.
Sorry, I got long winded. My bad.
We good. It's all
I
about you,
started
man.
preaching.
Yeah, we good. It's all about you, sir. Um, let me
You
ask
froze up.
you a question about. Oh, go ahead. We
Oh,
back?
you back. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you have anyone, uh, any artist that you want to work with, like anyone that you will want to work with, whether it's producers or artists on projects?
Man, it's funny. It's funny you say that, man. Just a few days ago, I was telling someone if for real. Oh,
Yeah,
you back?
I heard Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
Is that right?
If Yeah, if Pharrell were to walk in this room right now, man, you'd see me turn groupie, man. Like I'm a Pharrell fan, and I would love to work with Pharrell, man. He is dope. He's hella dope. Um, Pharrell, Timbaland is one of my favorite producers. Um, art from an artist standpoint, I definitely like to work with like a Cole or a Crit. I love
Yeah,
to do something with
I'm
Crit.
fans of those dudes for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like to an extent though it'd be a lot of pressure. That kind of go back to having to rewrite in the studio.
Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it'd be several attempts. But I definitely love to do something with those guys. But definitely top of my list is Pharrell, without a doubt. Pharrell rap, sing, produce like that man. He's literally a one man band.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, throw those seeds in the air. So hopefully that happens soon.
yeah, yeah. We'll throw them up and hopefully they land somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, sounds good. Do you have a favorite project that you've done?
The one I just dropped, actually, man. I felt like it was the perfect embodiment of what I've been trying to do over all these years, man. I felt like I finally did something that I don't have too many critiques on, and I feel like it jams to me, you know. So I think this one, there's a song on it called Black Friday that's probably one of my favorite songs on that project. Black Friday and Love War 3 are probably my favorite songs on there.
That's on the album you dropped in January.
Yeah, yeah, that's on the newer one. Yeah,
I need I need to start remembering the names of the songs because I just
yeah,
heard the whole album last night and I was just like, yeah, this is dope.
appreciate it.
And
Yeah, yeah, those
yeah,
are probably that's definitely probably my favorite project, man. I felt like it was I set out for a goal and I was able to complete it, and it sounded close to what I wanted it to sound like. You know,
for sure. Sounds good. Um, I have a request, so
what's up?
I don't know if this request is gonna get granted or not,
What's
but
up?
mind giving us a sample of sample of some heat with any artist is will hold its own. So I'm right. One of the most lyrical verses in 5 minutes. Where was that at? And where was I at? Did I know you guys yet? I don't think I did. Yeah, I
Man,
don't.
you said a sample, like just
Yeah,
some bars. Or...
yeah. You might spin some bars, but
Sure. iPhone, phone posit, long socks. I'm having a long time. I'm probably going shopping. I got it on and popping. Profit deposit dropping. Still talking positive. Losing is not an option. I get around the wrong bird brains. I feel boxed in. I need room to spread my wings and clean toxins. Game so polluted with trash. Who would imagine that I pop your tape in when I need a suitable laugh? Big dog running circles around poodles and labs, but they still sleeping on me. They took a Sudafed tab. I'm in a studio cooking, brewing up what we grew up on, cooling at 2 in the morning, crew in the zone. Yeah,
for sure,
that's
appreciate that,
yeah,
sir. Thank you for
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
much appreciated. I'm getting back to this comment from Nomad right now.
Oh, it's not. I see it. I see it. I appreciate that, fam.
Was that recent?
Lyrical verse in 5 minutes, right? Nigga.
For
Yeah,
sure.
appreciate that, fam.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. He's a dope dude.
Yeah,
I can't wait for his album. I can't wait for your new projects.
appreciate that.
I literally listened to your album last night, so that was pretty dope on that end as well. I'm gonna mention how Instagram Live works. Um, they let you go for 60 minutes and they give you like a 2 minute timer. So I'll let you
Okay,
know when it is so it doesn't end.
okay, okay.
But I would like to have you for part two,
Hey, I'm
and
down.
our other platform should be up by then. And with that, we're able to go as long as we want. So, um, yeah, so that will be soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you a question about: did you get to share everything you needed to?
Yeah, I mean, man, yeah, I'm an open book, man. You ask away. It's, yeah.
For sure, sounds good. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out. And
Hopefully,
far as
nobody from my circle sees the podcast and hit me like the bars are trash. Back to the drawing board.
hey, you'll have multiple chances with us. Like we're all for support over here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the
That's what's
message.
up.
Yeah, all support over here. And I can't wait for you to be in BZ Studio though, because that's gonna be amazing.
Man, 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 Beezy. Let me know what's up, man. I'm waiting.
He's gonna get a message from me after this.
Yeah, man.
He's gonna
I'm
get a
waiting,
message from
man.
me after.
Yeah, I'm eager to do it, man. I'm open for any of that, you know. And I mean, if hey BZ, come, let's do something. Put it on my project, you know. Like I'm down. I'm all right. You there? All right.
Do you know his brother, Big Ken?
I know of him. I don't know him, but I know of him. He's dope too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on podcasts. Actually, him and Beezy just dropped a new song, I think. I heard.
Yeah, Beezy sent it to me, man. It's some smooth. It's a smooth joint. I like it.
Yeah, so I I look forward to that. Everyone over there is dropping albums,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's gonna be kind of fire for sure.
yeah.
Um, yeah, like I thank you for coming on a short notice though. Like I didn't think you were gonna say yes last night because I sent you the
I
message
was like,
like yeah,
it's nothing, man. Yeah, I appreciate you for having me, man. I really thank you guys for the opportunity, man. So
for sure.
shout out to the podcast. Yeah,
Like I said earlier, I will be streaming to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and all the other platforms we belong to put the
okay,
video up. I'll edit it and stuff, of course. And if you want a copy of it, like you can shoot me a DM and I'll send it to you
okay, yeah, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, for sure.
for sure. And I like to thank you for coming on the Keep It 100 podcast. There
Yeah,
shall be a part two and a part three. You heard it
there
from me
shall be,
first.
man, and I'll have
So
bars at every one. Let me know. I'm
for
ready.
sure. Like I look forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no
Thank
doubt.
thank you for making our 2 month anniversary awesome today. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
thank you guys for having me, man.
For sure. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. Salute everybody. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Have a good one.
All right, you too, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it.